Taking a look at your top story, a docket in the case related to a slew of assassination attempts on President Jacob Zuma has landed in the hands of the National Prosecuting Authority for a decision to prosecute. The NPA confirmed yesterday they are in possession of the docket, and the case was being handled by the head of Priority Crimes Litigation Unit, Tueri Pretorius. This comes in the wake of remarks by Hawk's spokesperson, who told ANN7 this week the elite crime fighting unit was adding some final touches to the contents of the docket in line with a request from the NPA. Mulausi said that despite minor backs and forth discussions between the Hawks and the NPA, the elite unit's investigations into the matter had been completed. Reports of a poison plot which allegedly involved the president's estranged spouse, Nompumelelo Ntuli Zuma, emerged after Zuma fell seriously ill in June of 2014. He subsequently learned he was poisoned while on a trip to the US that year.
I always say when I die, and I nearly died because they did poison me, and they did poison me, managed to find somebody closer to me, and I know it. I was dead. They don't believe how I succeeded. Not one dose. But the person who was poisoning me was so innocent, so close. 3 doses. Even scientists can't believe why Zuma did not die. You see, people can talk because they don't know. They can criticize me. They can call me names. I say, in Dr. I will die knowing where we went wrong, and I do know.
Several plausible theories emerged over who may have tried to poison President Jacob Zuma. Theory number 1 states foreign forces opposed to South Africa's alignment with the economic grouping of Brazil, Russia, India and China. Theory 2, domestic forces opposed to Zuma's push for transformation. And Theory 3, someone with a personal animosity towards Zuma. Other world leaders who have survived alleged poisoning attempts include the late Cuban leader Fidel Castro. The CIA is believed to have plotted several assassination attempts, including poisoning to eliminate Castro. The late Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi, several allegations were made against British and US agents of attempted poisoning. Zimbabwean Vice President Emmerson Mnangagwa was rushed to hospital after vomiting blood at a stadium event. Viktor Yushchenko, the former president of Ukraine, suffered disfigurement after ingesting hazardous amounts of TCDD. The president's revelations raised the following unanswered questions. Is the incident allegedly involving Aman Tuli amongst the 3 Zuma poisoning attempts? Can involvement of foreign forces influencing Zuma's immediate family be ruled out? Could anti-BRICS transformation forces be behind the plot to assassinate Zuma? And why did Zuma fly from the US to seek treatment for poisoning in Russia instead? Why is there no prosecution against the alleged perpetrators 3 years after the poisoning attempt? Do 3 poisoning attempts indicate the seriousness of a regime change plot by foreign forces?
Hugo Chavez had gone to the US, by the way, and demanded the gold that was sitting in the bullions in the US to be returned back to Venezuela. And as a result, 6 months after that, his life was actually attempted upon, and it was successfully, and he was killed. So the same would happen to Jacob Zuma if he starts tampering very closely with the world powers. And in this case, moving away from the current British as well as US system and standard of economy to a BRICS standard has created a threat. If they can get to the state president of South Africa, how much more vulnerable is our actually democracy? Money still flows out of South Africa directly, illicitly, as well as legally. Out of our economy, it flows out to various destinations, one being Britain and the various other institutions being America and all the other Channel Islands. So who would want to lose that dividend to African people who are now starting to become owners of their own economy and control their own destiny? This is a colony economy. So in the economy, you want to create and continue the perpetual colonial tax that we must pay. So Zuma attempted to break the colonial bondage and link. And as a result, he will become, by no means other, a biggest threat to the imperial hegemony that is controlling all the financial markets across the world.
It's an issue of regime change. President Zuma was the first to shake the hands of white monopoly in this country. He is the first to make white people march. So to get rid of him would be a feasible method to many. You do know that they've tried it against the president of Botswana, Mr. Nkama. They've tried it against President Robert Mugabe. Some of the attacks and allegations on President Jacob Zuma's character are not because he has done something wrong, but because a foreign hand wants this country. And because we're a country that is rich in tourism, rich in minerals, he is the doorkeeper to which many in the West want to come and violate this country. If you look at what happened to Muammar Gaddafi, the West assaults him, murders him, because apparently he's got weapons of mass destruction which have not come out in the public domain. And his country was living well, the people were thriving because of issues of gold, because issues of minerals, issues of mining in that country took away his life. And to this day, no one knows the true and accurate reason why this man was killed, because the West believed he was a threat to modern day society. And that is what is happening to African leaders.
This is very serious. We're talking about a sitting president of the country, and we cannot take this matter lightly. It's just unfortunate, that in our environment, we are not obliged to be giving you a lot of information on what is happening. We have been sitting with this investigation for some time, and there were investigations that were made. And at the same time, we have now taken this docket to the MPA for a decision. I can't talk in terms of what is contained in the docket because that is information that is still private. We still have to present that, of course, through the MPA to court. So for me to be able to confirm or deny whatever is being said by the president, it would be wrong for me to do that.